it's Linnea for iCrafter, and today we're taking a look at the Shadow Box Card die set. This die set has 11 pieces, and it's going to let you create not only a shadow box card, but also has some exciting pieces to create some layered flowers. There's some greenery, a cute little bird on a branch, and then there are also dies that are going to allow you to cut the words mother and spring. I love this die set because even though the accompanying pieces are very spring-like, you can use this box card base die for almost any type of card that you want to make. Birthday, holiday, anything you want. So let's start off here by creating the base for the box card. I'm going to use some nice, happy, springy colors and just use my pattern paper that I have in my stash. And I'm going to die cut this large base piece twice, once for the front panel and once for the back panel. I'm kind of creating this card so that it could be a front and back style card. It'll kind of wrap around. The pattern is going to be continuous so that no matter how the recipient is looking at this, they're going to see a cute card. For all of my die cutting, I am using a translucent cutting deck as well as the iMend Self-Mending Magnetic Pro deck. I am in love with the Magnetic Pro deck because I don't need to use washi tape to hold down my pieces when I use that. The magnets are strong and really eliminate the need to fuss with any kind of temporary tape. Okay, so let's get back to creating this shadow box card. I'm using my iPress burnisher, and I'm going to be scoring and reinforcing the score lines on all of my pattern paper pieces for my box. I cut 2 pieces with that large die, and then 1 piece with that smaller die that's going to kind of inlay into the shadow box card, as you can see here. On the large pieces, I folded the flaps backwards, and then I folded the flaps forward on the piece that's going to sit on the inside. Now, you can vary the depth of the shadow box card and that inner piece by changing where you position this little circle inset piece. I wanted it to be closer to the front, so I'm going to add my adhesive onto those back flaps and then adhere that piece as far in right up against that score line as I can. You can push it further to the back if you want, and that'll create that inner piece being further towards the back of your shadow box card. Use any adhesive that you prefer and that you have in your crafty stash. I'm using some double-sided strong adhesive tape here just so that I can be sure that as my card goes through the mail and as the recipient kind of opens this up and closes it, it's going to be held together with a strong tape. When I'm adhering this together, I like to make sure that I can fold this back and forth so that I know for sure that it's going to be able to fold flat and fit into a standard A2 sized envelope. I wanted to create a card that would be pretty from both the front and the back. A lot of times I don't even think about the back of my card. I just kind of add a stamp that says handmade by Linnea on the back, and that's it. It's left blank. But this time I thought that I would take an extra step and make this card pretty from both the front and the back. So I used that inset die and cut a second piece of pattern paper and just cut off the side flaps. And all I'm going to do is sort of paper piece this together so that now it looks like I cut my inner piece from double-sided cardstock. I didn't, it just took an extra step to cut that piece again and then cut off the flaps, but I think in the end it's worth it and it's really cute. Now let's just finish up this shadow box card by adhering the last back flap together, and now you can see how I have this full turnaround front and back pretty shadow box card. I went ahead and used my translucent cutting deck along with my iMend Self-Mending Magnetic Pro deck once again and cut out a bunch of pieces for my card. I wanted to have this little bird on the branch, but I wanted to have the branch be brown like a traditional branch, and I wanted to have a little yellow birdie. So I cut this piece twice, and all I'm going to do is just use my scissors and chop off that branch and paper piece this together, and that's going to make it look like this was two separate dies, but really it's just the one. I'm just using some liquid adhesive, but again, use whatever adhesive you like. And now you can see how this little bird is just going to kind of sit and float across my window of my shadow box card. I cut these little turquoisey blue flowers with the die from the shadow box card die set, and I'm using the rounder point on my eye press burnisher, the actual burnisher piece, and I'm using that to pick up the tiny little circles that I cut to be the centers of my flowers. I'm going to use my icrafter flathead tweezers to help me position my extra little embellishments here. Now I cut this centerpiece from some pattern paper, and from the front view, most of that pattern paper is going to be covered up, but from the back, you'll see that pattern. I like to use these iGrip flathead tweezers because it really helps with positioning and in keeping my fingers out of the way. I'm kind of creating a wreath, and I love how this is going to overhang, and when I turn this around and I show you the finished card and you see it from the back, you can kind of see it here, but I just love how that looks. From the front you can see all those leaves, and then from the back it's more like a shadow effect. I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid adhesive on the portions of the branch that are going to be attached to my shadow box card, and let that bird kind of free float across the center of that window. So I'm only adding adhesive to the portions of the branches that are going to touch my shadow box card. I'm going to use my iGrip flathead tweezers again and just position these cute little blue flowers here and there around the branch. I'm going to put 3 on one side and 2 on another just to kind of create a visual sort of triangle and keep that odd is best number of embellishments. I also die cut the words or the letters for the word spring, and that is included in that shadow box card die set. I cut that from some pink cardstock, and I lined that up using one of the lines in the pattern paper as a guideline and adhered that word down, and I'm just going to press that down and check this out. Isn't it so cute? And watch as I turn it around from the back. You'll see that it's pretty on both the front and the back, and it folds flat to fit in a standard A2 size envelope. That's it. That completes my project. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Remember that there are lots of tutorials on the icrafter YouTube channel as well as on the icrafter blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!